They say the world can't change. Not angrily, not loudly, just casually, like a fact you're supposed to grow into, like gravity. And when someone brings up another way, another system, another approach, another future, the thought doesn't die, it just gets capped, the amplified is stored. So instead of being built on, the vision gets held privately, silently. Like a secret you're not supposed to develop. That's not disagreement, that's containment. That's how progress gets paused without ever looking like resistance, because the problem isn't that people can't imagine better, it's that they don't believe they are allowed to be part of the change. So the idea stays alive, but it never gets legs. We call this acceptance. But acceptance isn't awareness. Acceptance is comfort with a conscience. Acceptance says, I see it, I feel it, I agree something's wrong, but this is just how it is. Responsibility says something else entirely. Responsibility says, if I can see it clearly, I'm part of what happens next. And that's where people back away, not because they're cruel, not because they don't care, but because responsibility costs comfort. See, we've been taught to fit ourselves to the world instead of admitting the world needs development. So when something feels wrong, we shrink, we numb, we adapt, we learn how to survive systems. Instead of asking why the system requires survival in the first place, and the most dangerous part, we start defending what is instead of standing behind what could be. Not because it's right, but because it's familiar. Change doesn't begin with answers, it begins with discomfort, with admitting this doesn't feel right, I don't know why yet, but I know something's off. You don't fix a wound by covering it. You have to undress it. You have to look at the core, and the core issue here isn't evil, it's comfort. We'd rather stay comfortable than hold the responsibility of reshaping the world, so we pass it on. And passing responsibility doesn't make it disappear, it just makes it someone else's problem, usually our kids, so they inherit unfinished systems, unfinished conversations, unfinished wars inside themselves and outside. And then we ask why they're angry, why they're disconnected, why they don't trust the world we handed them. I have 2 kids, and I don't want my kids raised to fight wars, not against other people, and not against the validity of their own emotions. I don't want them taught that numbness is strength and silence is peace. This isn't about tearing everything down, it's about building something honest. And honesty requires something we've avoided: standing together long enough to admit what we actually feel, what hurts, what feels heavy, what would feel better, because we're not as different as we've been taught. We've just been trained to believe that agreement is dangerous and discomfort means division. But the truth is, shared honesty is where new worlds start. Not acceptance of what is, but responsibility for what comes next. And that responsibility doesn't belong to the future. It belongs to us now.